And in the wake of terror attacks in Paris, Beirut, Mali, and Tunisia, more Americans now fear an attack in America is coming. A brand new CBS News poll finding 69% of Americans say a terror attack in the U.S. is likely. That's the highest percent since May of 2011, after the killing of Osama bin Laden. So a former Pennsylvania senator and 2016 GOP presidential candidate Rick Santorum were in the Oval Office. What would he do? Senator Santorum goes on the record. Good evening, sir.
How you doing, Greta?
Are you in the 69% that you think an attack is likely?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that. I'm concerned that we've let our guard down in our intelligence community with the USA Freedom Act that was passed that denies our intelligence community capabilities to be able to track. Edward Snowden is compromised. You saw that in the Paris attack, that we now the terrorists now know how to communicate effectively around our intelligence. So it's very, very, very likely.
Do you think ISIS is in our country now?
Oh, no question about it.
How'd they get here?
Well, two ways. Number one, they can come across the southern border. We've seen that. We've seen a lot of folks being captured down there who are not coming from Mexico, but coming from other places than Mexico. And secondly, they can be radicalized here. They can come here legitimately and be radicalized, or be here, be homegrown and born here, and be radicalized by a group of people who claim to be a caliphate. And if you understand Islamic law, when a caliphate is claimed, and there hasn't been a caliphate in almost 90 years, there hasn't been a caliphate, and now for the first time in the lifetime of everybody here, there's a caliphate that's saying to Muslims around the world, you have to serve us. And under Islamic law, if it's a legitimate caliphate, then there will be those who will be attracted to it, not just in the Middle East, but around the world, and including the United States.
What would you do if you were the president? Because President Obama came out today and he said, he said, basically be cautious, be on alert, but enjoy your holiday. And I don't know what else you can say, but would you do anything differently?
Would I do anything differently? I tend not to let the terrorists win. So the answer is no. I think you should go ahead and continue to act normally and do things, but be cautious.
What should the president, behind the scenes, is the president, do you assume the president is doing what he should be doing?
It all depends on the intelligence he has. If he doesn't have really any actionable intelligence, then I think it's legitimate to go out there and say there's no actual intelligence that we can deal with, and we're not concerned. But having said that, would I be more aware of the circumstances and going to public places, going to big crowds? Of course I would be, because that's the place they're going to attack.
All right, refugees. What's your position on refugees coming into this country? Are you with the pause or with the no or the go?
Yeah, I take a different stance than I think anybody else out there, and that is I don't think we should be receiving any refugees from the area that ISIS is driving them out of in Syria. And the reason I believe that is because when we receive them, we take them here in this country, we displace them from where they are. And who's being driven out? Christians are being driven out, ethnic minorities like Yazidis, and of course, moderate Muslims who don't go along with ISIS. Those are the exact people we actually want in the region once we defeat ISIS. If all that's left in the region, if everybody else is relocated to Europe or to the United States, if all that's left in the region are folks who cooperated with ISIS, this is not going to be a very pleasant place going forward. We need to relocate these people in the region, Christians, Muslims, ethnic minorities, all so they can come back and repopulate that area, reclaim the Christian cities for what they are, reclaim the ethnic minority areas for what they are. And what we're doing by bringing people over here is saying to them, come here, and they're not going to go home, which means you talk to clerics, Christian clerics in the Middle East, they're encouraging their people to stay in the region because they need them to come back to make sure that these towns are preserved and Christianity is preserved in these areas.
Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you very much, Greta.